Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the LUF Lounge on this wonderful Saturday night, the 24th of July. We've got a great night ahead and I'm going to introduce some people to you and they're going to tell you what they are all about. Okay, I'll go from the top of the screen that I've got. Kim, can you go first, please?
Hi, my name's Kimberly. I'm a new employee for Red Rose for Central. I'm an engagement officer and a group facilitator.
Okay, thank you. Tasha?
Hi everyone, my name's Tasha and I'm a Community Engagement and Support Officer at Community Gateway Housing Association.
Gary?
Hiya, I'm Gary. I'm the Vice Chairman for the Central LUF Lounge.
Chris? You're on silent, Chris.
That's a fresh start, isn't it? Anyway, I'm Chris, and I'm the chairman for the LUF for the Central Lancashire.
Great. Alan?
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm here to do a life story.
And last but not least, Joe.
Hi, my name's Joe, service user, and I'm just here to sing a song.
Okay, welcome everybody. We hope that you are all with us. Please send comments in. Keep me busy. I will hand you over now to Chris, who's our host for this evening. Good evening, Chris.
Evening, Barbara. Thank you for that. Hi, everybody. So we've got a great night tonight, people, and we're really excited about all this and stuff. I'm going to start us off with the brilliant Joe, the well-talented and great honour. He's one of my great friends. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Joe, to show everybody that beautiful voice of yours, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars are pale and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong. I go hungry, I go black and blue, and I go crawling down the avenue. And no, there's nothing that I would do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on your rolling sea and on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't see nothing like the end. I can make you happy, make your dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
Absolutely amazing, Joe. Absolutely amazing. There's another home run for you. Another home run. I was dancing there. I was dancing. And that anyway. Yeah, well done, Joe. Is anybody else got anything they want to say to Joe? Anything?
Hi. Well, we've had some lovely comments, but of course, Joe knows he's one of my favourite singers, so I could listen to him all night. Simon, Chris, John, Dan, Jeanette, Emily, R. Willie, Emma J, Rhianne, Lindsay, Gemma, and Linny have all said good luck to us for tonight, because some of them are busy somewhere else. I'm sure we'll find out later why. But they're all watching in now.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, Chris.
And that, right, so now we have the wonderful, another person I have the pleasure of knowing as a friend. And that's over to Alan and give him loads of credit. His life story's coming up. Over to you, Alan, my friend.
Nice one, Chris. Hi, everyone. I'm Alan, 25. It was basically, I never had a good start in life from the moment I was born. I was addicted to heroin because my mum was a drug addict. I was in an incubator and a lab support machine for 6 months from the moment I was born. Basically, I come out, got discharged from hospital. I ended up going to my mum's house where the local authority social services were involved straight away because it was like a bad environment for me and my brother. My brother was 3 years old and like he was bringing me up, he was changing me nappy and everything, so he didn't have a childhood. I went to nursery. I ended up getting into my first fight at like 4 years old. It wasn't like the greatest moment of my life, but I was looking out for my brother as he's done a lot for me. And then basically I went into care at 4 as well. By the age, like just before my 5th birthday, I ran away from the foster home. I ended up going to try to find my mum because she left us in it's just abandoned us like through drugs. And so basically I got taken in by some drug dealers from the area. I ended up like running some cocaine for them. And I ended up being good at what I was doing. And then it just come with second nature, so I never finished school. Didn't even like attend it, like your first years or anything like that, your juniors. I was just always out there like trying to make money at that time. And it was horrible that because it's like my childhood was just taken away. But then at like 8 years old, it becomes a knife crime and everything. So we went from the drugs to a dramatic knife crime events. And he's like, if I was like lending people money or the family that I was in with was lending money, I'd end up coming after you and cutting you. And it becomes scary, like when you think about it. It's just at that time it was my second nature for what I had to do. If I didn't do it, it was me getting stabbed or getting slapped. So I carried on with it. And when I should have started me high school, I ended up getting sent down. I went to jail for stabbing someone up. I ended up coming out when I was 16. So I was missed the whole of my high school years, never got a qualification. And I thought to myself, I'll try and turn my life around. And it was hard for me because I had no family at this point. All I knew was the drug dealers that brought me up. And it was just it was horrible for me. So I had nowhere else to go other than go to that lifestyle again. And so basically I went back to that house. And then I ended up that time I don't want to do it no more. I ended up getting my jaw broke. Because once you're in, you can't come out. And it made me like, I'm not gonna lie, I cried at that point. I've just done a jail sentence for him and they won't let me go out to the game. So it scared me at that point. I'm thinking, I'm in with some nasty people now. I won't end up dead. So I carried on for him. And then I got someone pregnant at the time of coming out of jail as well. So I got my first child thinking, this will help me now to come out to this game. Well, 6 months after, I ended up back in jail. So then I've done my second sentence now. And he was like, I got put in the adults jail at this point. So I was scared at that point because I've only done young offenders from the start. And I got stabbed in jail. I got battered and everything. Like, I had 10 people come into my cell because they knew the people that were bringing me up. And they apparently they've got big rivalries. So I've got dragged into this big gang warfare and that's horrible. So then I broke down when I come out. I had a mental breakdown. And then I started using drugs. And so as well as selling it, making money, I ended up hitting the drugs because I'm having a bad mental breakdown for the lifestyle that they've got me into. And I ended up going over for the first time. I was in hospital for 4 weeks. I was on a life support machine. And he didn't even give me the wake-up call to stop that because I was that hooked on heroin and I was hooked on monkey dust and crack. It was like, you don't want to give up. He's blocking all that bad memories out. He's helping me to sustain myself. And it's hard to say exactly what it makes you feel. But that made me feel good at that time. So when I carried on after I come out of hospital, and then I went over again just before I went back into jail for battering someone. I got done for ABH for someone that was trying to rob me. I went back into jail, come out. But I'm always in and out of jail from a young age. It's always been assaults, but it's always been through the drug scene. And I come out and I met my youngest daughter's mum at this time. So I moved into with her, tried to turn my life around, but I was still involved with drugs and using. I ended up assaulting someone again and I ended up having a warrant out for my arrest. So when I stayed on the run, I kept hiding. I ended up moving to London, leaving my baby mum while she was pregnant. And then it just became worse for me. I ended up getting stabbed down London. Got myself involved with some horrible people down there. It was just trouble had always followed me. It wasn't the best thing for me. So I went back to Stoke, tried to turn my life around back in Stoke. Wasn't happening. The day my daughter was born, I got sent down. I got arrested at the maternity ward of the hospital. So I did my jail sentence, I've come out. But 3 days before I was released, social services come to me and they wanted me to sign all my rights away to my daughter so I don't see her. Well, I ended up losing my head and kicking off in the visiting hall. And I got an extra 10 days on my sentence. So I did that, just did the 10-day lie down in the block. I come out. And then I got put in a hostel. I thought, it'll help me It didn't help me become a proper addicted to heroin again because my cousin was there. And then I was trying to find help at the time. And it was just nobody seemed to want to help me at that point. It was my life was of no worth. And then one day I saw someone who was a big gangster back in the day. And he's running a rehab. And he comes to me and says, "You need help, you do." He said, "I'm running a rehab in Stoke now." He says, "I'll help you." And he took me and put me on a farm. I did well there for so long. I met one of the football lads there. Become close to him, good friends. I become a sport worker until I found out that my daughter's mum was raped. And then my head just fell off. I ended up leaving, doing something stupid, using drugs again. It's just like, it was just a self-destruct mode that went on. So then I went back to him after I did all that, and I apologised. I thanked him for everything he did for me, but I screwed up. And then I went back to the hostel, and I stayed there until January this year. And then I did an overdose 8 times. On the 8th time, I was in hospital for at least 3 weeks. And then I went into probation and I said, I need help. I need to get out of Stoke. And they found me a little rehab, it's a community one, that was in Greater Manchester. And I did 6 months there. I loved every minute of it, other than the fact I couldn't deal with my emotions. I ended up that got the better of me, so I ended up having a little scrap with one of the lads from there. I got my 7-day notice, and on the 7th day of my notice, I got a phone call out of the blue off Recovery Homes, offering me a place. And I accepted it, and I'm residing here now. Obviously, I've met Chris and that, a good lad. I've met Gary and that, in the class of my friends. I've become involved with the Red Rose football team, which I'm loving every minute of it. And obviously, just to share my story, I just appreciate it and that. But I'm doing well right now with my life. I'm still clean. I haven't committed no more offences and that. It's just, I've just got to take each day as it comes. I just thank you all for listening.
You're on silent again, Chris. That's one way to keep you out of this programme, isn't it? Do you know what, Alan?
I'll just stay on silent all the way through. No, thank you, Alan, so much, mate. And that, what a wonderful story. And thank you. It's a privilege to listen to it. And I'm sure everybody out there feels the same. And Barbara, have we got anything nice for Alan?
Wow. Nicole has put, this is what happens when we're down. It's so unfair. They beat us while we're really down. And Simon says, big respect to you, Alan. He's got a lot of time for you, and you're a massive addition to the football team. So you're the one that can play. Yeah, there is a lot of love coming in.
There you go. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And no, he ain't the one that can play, Barbara. No.
No, radiant.
Right, next up, it's the beautiful Tasha and the wonderful Gary. And that telling us all about what's going on in the community and what Gateway's doing. And all the agencies that work with them. Over to you, Tasha and Gary. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Gary, do you want me to kick off?
Yes, please.
So I'm Tasha and I'm a Community Engagement and Support Officer for Community Gateway Housing. My job really is to find out what the community wants, what the community needs, and try and make it happen, but supporting the community and empowering them to do it themselves. So my background is in crisis support, which is what I did before I came into community engagement. So I see the value in creating opportunities for people, linking the dots for people, making stuff happen, whether you are experiencing homelessness, addiction, any kind of life difficulty. It's up to us to create opportunities for people to move forward. So the reason we've linked in with LUF and Red Rose is we have opportunities within the community all the time. Sometimes we just need volunteers to help us at the centre. Sometimes we need volunteers at events. And that's what all these guys have been and helped us do. So the first thing we did was a litter pick, and Chris and Gary were both there at our litter pick. It was a brilliant day. More people came than we expected. It was more than just a litter pick, wasn't it, Gary? It was about engaging with people.
It's about breaking down that stigma, It's not just about, us as addicts, what the negatives we can bring. The fact is, a lot of us are in recovery, and we want to give back. I mean, like I say, it's breaking down that stigma. You know, if people see a bunch of addicts cleaning the streets instead of ruining the streets, then that might give them a little bit more of a push to maybe come out and join us.
Yeah, and I think what I took away from that litter pit, Gary, was when we walked around the street and obviously we were looking for litter, that's what it was about, but we stopped and spoke to a bunch of young lads, and some of them experiencing a lot of experience with crime, involvement with the police. That was an opportunity for you guys to speak to them young people, and you give them options, didn't you? You give them ways out, you give them things to look at.
Yeah, and I think we've been given opportunities, you know, by the LUF, by yourselves, to get out and start engaging, and it was just about passing that on. You know, there was a few kids there that seemed to, you know, be on that edge, and it was nice just to give them a little bit of information and say, look, at the end of the day, mate, that there are other options. You know what I mean? There are options out there. All you have to do is ask, and you know, it was good. It was empowering for all us that were there. You know what I mean? Just walking around, tidying up an estate, talking to people. It was nice. Yeah,
it was brilliant for us, and I think obviously after that we then asked if any of you wanted to come to our Farry Park Open Day, a community event, and I know that both you and Chris, you played football with the kids. You helped us, it helped us in general, everything, pack away, move things, speak to people about the survey. So you got stuck in there, which made a big difference to us. And then following that, we got you involved in that car wash, which we've just done, which I'm still recovering from. I've got muscles in my arms that I didn't know I had. So the car wash, Gary, how did you find that, getting involved in it?
It was really enjoyable. You know, we had a radio station down, and Chris Rainey, you know, he spoke about what we were doing, and you know, a little bit about why it was happening. You know, we were raising money for Lancaster women, and it was just getting another message out there. Do you know what I mean? Not just our message, but other people's messages. You know, and we were there to engage with them and show them support. You know, we got to speaking to quite a few people that were bringing their cars in, and I think we raised a substantial amount of money, which was really nice. But again, it was just letting people know that we're here, you know, and we're doing stuff, and we want to engage with the community, and you know, we want to move forward.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and I think we raised just under £400. But it's bigger than just showing up and washing a car, isn't it? It's about shouting about what you guys are doing. It was about talking about your football team, talking how people can link in with you guys. It was about showing that if we offer them opportunities, people come. I never expected there to be 21 people helping at the car wash. And the feedback about all of you guys was absolutely unbelievable. I had loads of text messages. One of our colleagues drove past in the car, and then I got an email saying, I wish I was coming to your festival, because obviously we had tunes on. It was just like a good vibe all day, and you guys created that. You did 100%. So I think at Community Gateway, what's worked really well for us is it's a bigger picture. So I know myself and Gary have talked about other opportunities. We've been talking about things like Select Move and people getting involved, people sharing their views on that. So that's the housing process, and people moving in can be quite difficult for some people. So now, as a result of my conversation with Gary, we have got 2 sessions booked in the community where the Select Move people who do the applications are going to come out with laptops, printers. If anyone wants to rock up with the information, they can help you get logged on that day and help you apply for properties. So that's as a result of a conversation with Gary. We never thought it was going to go there, but that's what's become of it. So it's just about us connecting the dots and including people in everything we do, because when we talk about communities, which is what my job's all about, it's about including everyone in the community, not just some of us. It's about all of us to make it work, and you guys have played a big part in my work over the last few weeks, and it's been brilliant to work with you, and I'm looking forward to doing some more. I've got a whole list of community events on my notepad that you're all going to be invited to. So I look forward to working with you all.
Brilliant. And can I just say, on Friday the 13th, we have at the Sion Community Centre, we have a charity fundraising car wash again. This is to raise funds for the recovery football team that we're a part of, just to make it more sustainable, you know, because we do have to, we do have cost to do that, unfortunately, and yeah, we're just going to do that to raise awareness, and not just that, just to raise awareness for men's mental health. We've got a game tomorrow at Grasshoppers. Anyone want to turn up, please come support us. Yeah, it'll be really good.
Brilliant, and we'll make sure that we push that out about your car wash, because a lot of people will want to support you. It's just telling them that they need to support, because look how many people rocked up and donated on Thursday because they saw there was a need to help. So I don't doubt that your car wash will have the same amount of people, if not more.
Sure.
That's it from me, Chris. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Yeah, that was absolutely brilliant, that, Tasha and Gary. And it was a great honour. I had the privilege of being down there with you and with Kim, with you and Gary, and loads of others from the Lancashire User Forum and from Gateway, and the community as well. There was people from the community. We had the honour of having the BBC there. What a great day! What a great day it was. And like you said, Lancashire women, what a cause. And we managed to earn a great lot of money for them, and not only that, we did show awareness. We did show awareness. We showed people that we was a positive part in the community by building that resilience in the individuals and families for the communities. All good stuff. Supporting people in recovery and rebuilding, and that making them connections, all them quality things that come with these days that you're putting on, Tasha. And as chairman of the LUF, my fellas on the football team, and anyone else who wants to be a part of this has to be a norm. Anyone can come and take part in this. This isn't for us. Anyone is welcome. Come down, enjoy yourselves. Feel free. It's a family. You're more than welcome. So yeah, thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Gary. So we have got a charity coming up. We have got a charity event coming up, and that to raise money for the football team, and to raise awareness that it is a self-supporting team. And we do have events in other towns and other areas where we have to pay like £90, £120 for a pitch and things like that, transport for the lads, stuff like that. So anyone, please come down and support the lads. You know, you see them in the community doing the good things that they want to do. So can Barbara, right? So Barbara, I'm going to hand it over to you, sweetie.
Right, we've already had people on. Beth wants to know, how can people get involved and how can they come and help on the day? And Ryan has said that is just what he needs, and please send us the details, which is brilliant. Chris has said, you are the best, Tasha. And it's a nice one. And the Zion Community Centre is a huge resource to the area. I don't know it because I'm not from that part, but wow, the people just love what's going on there. And Nathan says that he's looking forward to getting back involved with all the events. So there is so many people that want to know more about this. So I think that we should be able to put something else on here for someone to contact, if that's okay. Somebody send me a number and I will put it on and we'll get it out there. While I'm just thinking on about events that are going on, can I say a big, I've got all excited in my stomach, it's going. Cara, one of our girls, is in a boxing match this evening. She's one of our Red Rose girls and she is having her first fight tonight. There's a load of people there watching her. Oh, all the luck in the world. Fingers, feet, toes, everything crossed for her. She's such a great girl. Just hope it all goes well.
Fingers crossed, Cara.
Okay, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah, so if Tasha, if you would like to send Barbara your number and that, and she can, and if you don't mind, she can put that out there and people can contact you for the addresses where we're doing our events and stuff like that, and that, so they can just come down and take part or be a part.
I'll send that to I will send that to Barbara, Chris, and the same information about Scion Park. We do have loads going on at the centre. Like someone said, it is a huge resource, whether people want to use it for training. We've got all sorts going on, from a job club to karate. Our employment team are there every Wednesday offering to help with CVs, job applications. That building is used 7 days a week, and we have so much going on that anyone in the community can access. So I will make sure that I pass all that on, and Barbara, I will send you my details now.
Oh, thank you. And somebody else has just sent in and said, Kim, your dancing was very entertaining on the deck.
Well done.
You can't get away with anything. They watch everything here.
So Tasha, all somebody has to do is just come down, and love's there for them, you know, and they can be a part. They can be a part. There's loads going on with the Zion and stuff, like you said. There's mental health. There's housing. There's user gateway. There's karate. There's walks. There's loads of things. I know there's loads of things. There's a football team. There's absolutely loads. We've got the privilege of playing them tomorrow, and that good people. So yeah, just ring Tasha. We'll put the number out there. Tasha's number. You feel free. Go down to the Zion. Get involved. Good people. You're more than welcome, and you'll feel the love. And Kim, do you want to say anything about the day? It was a lovely day. You was there. You got soaked.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I get soaked. Yeah. No, it was amazing. It was a great spirit. Everybody coming together. Obviously, that's what the community is about. Amazing money for the Lancashire Women's Centre, which is a great cause, obviously. But yeah, I think everybody said everything that needs to be said, really. Obviously, like you say, it brings the community together and shows the further community how everybody, like with disadvantaged backgrounds or like obviously addiction, everything can come together and stuff like that, really. So yeah, it was amazing. You all did great and worked hard together as a team. So yeah, fabulous.
And like Gary said, and like Gary put out the, you know, it's about this stigma it sticks, done it, and stuff, and it was quality. It was quality just to see recovering addicts down there, you know, wanting to give back to the community, give back for a good cause, and just give back love in general, because that's what we're about. That is what we're about, just sharing our experience and showing where we are today, and that just show that we're not that bad thing in the community that was taking everything away in life, you know, and that we can be a positive part. We can be a positive part, and that's what we're showing, and that's what we're willing to be on a daily basis. And that has to get out there. That has to get out there to break that stigma. And that. So yeah, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Tasha.
I think that Glenn would like to come in and say a few words now.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. So it was just, I was just listening to Tasha then, and obviously from getting a few emails and knowing Tasha and a bit about what Tasha does in the community, I just wanted to ask her about the Community Gateway Uniform Bank, and tell us a bit about that, Tasha.
Will do. Thanks, Glenn. So during the pandemic, the first year of the pandemic, a lot of families told us that they were struggling with uniform, not just the cost, but getting out and buying it, the logistics of isolating and getting the uniform. So last year we just put on a uniform bank. We put an open call out to people and said, donate us some items. We also got £7,500 in funding. So last year we helped about 540 children, I want to say, and about 305 families. So this year we wanted to do it in a different way, where we included community groups from the beginning. So I have got 7 different community organisations in Preston delivering local uniform banks that are smaller. So we've provided them with a starter kit, which includes rails and things like that. They've all gone out to the local community and said, send us anything you want to donate. We've also given them additional funding. So if anyone wants the information for that, I will share it out there, and I'll send Barbara the link in a second to share it. Open to anybody in Preston. You would just go to your local uniform bank. The same if anyone wants to volunteer. So if you want to give up a few hours a week to sort out items, you could email the local partner and see if they've got any space for you there. More often than not, they will, because it is quite a laborious thing, sorting the uniform, getting it ready for when the families drop in. So I will send that to Barbara in a second. The other thing I've got going on is we have seen at Gateway in different areas a rise in ASB from young people. So we've done some things in Lorches and Savick, we've done some things in Grange, and I am keen to, the project I'm going to be doing in recent, like coming up, is on Grange Estate in Ribbleton. So I am looking to involve the guys from LUF in that, and use you guys as a valuable resource, because like you talked about before, it's about that lived experience that other people don't have, and your resources, other people can't buy that, they can't train on that. It's just what you've all got to offer, which is invaluable. So I will be looking to involve you all in that project with these young people, and I will send you all the information. So we will link you in to all the projects that are coming up, but thanks for the reminder, Glenn, about the uniform bank.
No, that's fine, because I think it's absolutely amazing what Gateway are doing. They're obviously if not the biggest housing provider in central Lancs and Preston. So to be able to partner up with Gateway and the other organisations, I think that the feel of the community, that what you do, of doing car washes, litter picks, and it's what Chris said about trying to break down them barriers and them stigma and that judgment, and by ex-offenders, people that have used drugs, substances, whatever, had mental health, whatever pathway that they sit on, it's about giving back, but it also helps them within their well-being, and also gives back to a community. So I think it's absolutely brilliant what you're doing, and the fact that you're involving people from LUF and Red Rose to be able to go into the communities and show that visible recovery, and show that people can get well and give back to them communities. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So thanks for letting us be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Tash. Yeah, definitely. It's about helping people grow and achieve the long-term change, you know, and all these good things, and that, helping with that, you know, and if it means that we're out there and we're mixing with communities that are struggling daily and stuff, and we're giving something back by telling them our stories, letting them know where we've been from, letting them know where we've been and where we are today. You know, they can get an understanding that they're not on their own. You know, these communities are not on their own. We all come from them communities. We all come from them places where they've been. We all come from them sort of families. You know, we relate in every area. And each one of us can relate with each one of our stories, and that so there isn't a person in this community, the people that were out there trying to show help too, you know, show the willingness to help and progress in every way they can, you know, show that resilience, teach them to show that resilience, teach them to grow and stuff. That we've been there, we are there, we have lived there, we're with you, and we understand. So yeah, thank you. Has anyone else got anything you want to ask Tasha or Gary?
You know what? But just something I want to add is, please like and share the link. You know, the more people that like and share, the more people that we can help, and the more props that the community gateway gets. So please like and share, like and share, and like and share. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
And just to touch on the volunteering side, when you touched on the uniform bank there around giving a couple of hours of your time, that in itself, people, I always had a mindset years ago around, why would I volunteer? Why would I go and volunteer and give my time up for not getting any financial reward, anything like that? And when I started doing it, it absolutely transformed my life, basically, because I wasn't doing it because my motivation wasn't about financial. It was about giving back to the community, but also that was helping my well-being by going and giving my time. So I wasn't thinking about going and using on the estate. I wasn't thinking about going and offending. It was filling that gap and that void that I couldn't fill for years and years and years. So my whole mindset had changed around that, about volunteering. So and from my background, when you've got 70, 80, 90 previous convictions on a DBS, when you want to go and get a job and you give your DBS in and they look at you and laugh at you, then the volunteering can break them barriers down, and then you can go and go, well, actually, for the last year, for the last 12 months, 18 months, whatever that looks like, is that actually I've worked for nothing. I've given back to the community, and that can help you build platforms where you can then get into employment. And that's how I got a job. And without volunteering, I wouldn't be where I am today. And then that transitions then into my personal life with my wife, my children, everything about it. And it all started from volunteering. So I just wanted to touch on that.
That's how I got my job at Gateway. So I was in crisis. I'd done health and social care since I was 16. But we all know health and social care jobs pay the worst. So one week I could do really good and manage to pay my rent. The week after, it was terrible. My hours were rubbish. So I volunteered as a young person on the Young Gateway Action Group, just because I knew one of the housing officers, the engagement officers, and she said, you're frustrated about all this stuff for young people. Come in and tell us and like feed it into the governance and stuff like that. So when the admin job came up in the team, if I hadn't volunteered with them, I would not have even known about the job, would never have been offered that job. And then I've been able to stay in that team now for 4 years. And every year I've actually changed job in the same team, but gone up a little bit more. But you're right, the value of volunteering is beyond them 2 hours a week. It's what other doors are opening. It is me being able to provide you with a reference. That makes a massive difference. It's when you're doing a housing application, it's me being able to add something to your housing application that says, actually, I've spent 6 hours this week with Chris. Chris has done X, Y, Z. He's give back in the community centre. That's the difference it makes. So I am very keen to encourage more people to volunteer. And if there isn't a volunteering role out there, then we can always make one. So we have a young girl at the moment who just wanted to do a bit of admin. So she's done our notice boards at the Sion Park Community Centre. She's helped me do the leaflet drop that all the guys, well, I think it was Gary will have to correct me on who the other gent was, but they did a big leaflet drop for me a few weeks ago.
Yes.
It was Chris.
Yeah, Chris Larky, was it?
Yeah, so it was Chris and Gary who did a big leaflet drop for me. They posted to hundreds of houses. Normally we would pay a service to do that, but it made more sense that we got people involved. They spent the day at the centre, got stuck in, and then it's snowballed after that. So I do encourage volunteering. And if you want help finding one, again, get in touch with us. We can find a volunteering opportunity. If there isn't one out there and you have an interest, then I'll try and make you one.
I totally agree. I think you and Glenn have hit the nail on the head there. And that it's about empowering yourself, you know, working on that well-being, you know, especially where I'm at, and that, like Glenn just said, and that my DBS is terrible, and that, you know, I've not done any work for years. It's all been negative and stuff, and this is empowering me. All these good things that I am doing is empowering my well-being, and showing all positive, creating new ideas, creating new things, new likes that I want to do, showing me where I want to go, you know, and that it's proper giving me the new skills and the talents that I need to look forward with that focus, and that's what I want to do in life, and it's the first time I've looked at that in a lot of years, and that so yeah, it's people have that thing about volunteering. Do you know what I say? Give it a go. Give it a go. Go and give back. Go and give yourself something back. You know, pull your finger out. You know, get connected. Get connected. Show some love. You know what I mean? If not for other people, for yourself. And I'm lucky enough to be able to show both today. And that's from empowering myself. And that's all these good things. And that's through this volunteer work, the focus that I have now and the committedness I have to all these good things that are going on with all you people. So yeah, thank you very much.
Can I say, Chris, it's not just the young people coming in that do the volunteering. I started off volunteering, I think 6 years ago, and it took me a long while to get, you know, to think I was worth anything, that I could go back to work. But I got given the chance, and I now work 4 days a week, and I totally enjoying it. So it builds your confidence, and it gives you the empowerment to get yourself there and push you forward. Doesn't matter what you think that you could do, have a go with it. If you don't try it, you're not going to find out what you can do.
You've got
Sorry,
Go on,
You've
mate.
got to win it.
You have, and the beauty of what Tasha just said, and I think this is from Red Rose and LUF's ethos as well, is around. I went to visit a person in prison. He's just finishing off an 8 last week, and I was having a conversation about supporting him in the community when he gets out. And he said that he's done loads of volunteering, and I said, well, why have you never maintained it? And he said, you know what he said to me? He went, because everywhere I went, they were telling me what I wanted to do. So do this, do that, and what Tasha just reminded me then when she said it around, if we've not got anything that you like doing, we can try and adapt it to what you do like doing. And it's about, if you don't like it, don't do it. Choose something else. We'll try and create something that you do like, because there's nothing worse than going out and doing a job that you don't like. So volunteering, whether you get paid for it or not, if you hate it, you're gonna go home. It's gonna consume your world because you're gonna hate it, and you're not gonna want to go the day after and the day after and the day after. But if you find something that you do like, volunteering, and as Tasha just said, you can adapt it to what you want to do, and same can Red Rose and LUF, then you'll want to go out and do it. And that's what was my motivations around, because I like doing it. And I think that it's not my saying, if someone else says it in the background, it's a lifestyle, this kind of work. It's a lifestyle. I take it home with me and do it. And sometimes I get told off for not having boundaries and not turning my work phone off and stuff like that. But that's because I love what I do. And so anyway, I'll shut up now and let you continue, Chris. Sorry for jumping in.
No, fantastic, Glenn. You're totally right. You know, and that. Why not? Why not enjoy it? Why not do something you're enjoying? That's what it's all about. That's what your free time's all about. Doing something, helping others, helping yourself. And if you can enjoy it at the same time, it's a bonus, and you're not going to be bored, and you're not going to run off. And that's why also the Lancashire User Forum and that get ourselves out there, and that's why we love doing it, because there's never a bad day when it's a fun day, and we have fun days every day with them, and that no matter where we are, we turn it into what we want. We use it as an excuse to give off what we're about, and that is fun-loving people, and we show that in our events, and we come out that way. And like you just heard of Tasha and that people, and that she had loads of comments, loads of love. It was like a party down there. You know, come down, get involved. It's about yourself. It's about what you want to do. It's about how you want to act. It's about what you want to give over. Just volunteer what you want. And like Glenn said, if it's not for you, then we'll work around that. We'll work what is for you on a daily basis, any time of the day. And that you just give it a go. And I hope you'll have great things to say, like I have on a daily basis about these things. And as you can see from the smile, I've got the love for that as well. And thank you, Glenn. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So I'm going to hand over to Kim, and that the wet Kim.
I obviously, as I said before, I'm Kim, working for Central Red Rose, engagement officer, community engagement officer, and group facilitator. So at the moment, I am doing mostly online Zooms. So on Monday, I do the music therapy, which at the moment is 6 till 7:15, but in the coming weeks, it will be on 6 till 9. On Friday, I am with Barbara here on the Friday Fun Night, which I hosted myself last night. And I kind of had to wing it a little bit, but I managed till 9 o'clock, so I did okay. And in the coming weeks, I will be doing my own groups online on a Wednesday and a Sunday. So I'm just coming up with ideas for them at the moment. And Thursday, I will be in the office. And then hopefully I will be in the community more as well in the coming weeks too. Well, I really hope I am to be involved with more events like Thursday's car wash, which was absolutely amazing, even though I did get wet through. But again, yes, it was like a party, and the vibes were so great. So as he was just talking about volunteering then, and something saying that you might not enjoy it, I'd probably say you would enjoy it if all these lads are involved, because they'll make you enjoy it because it's just so fun. It wouldn't be boring at all. So I don't know what much else to say because, like I say, I'm new and I've not really done much yet. I'm just going to be online at the moment. So yeah, but hopefully I will be in the community more so I can get involved with people more and more events. And I think that's it.
Yeah, Kim. So how can people that are watching this live lounge tonight access any of these groups you're doing and, you know, find out a bit more?
Well, I have set up my own Facebook for Red Rose Recovery. My name is Kim or Rose. So if you want to add me on there, I will be posting links to my groups when I've set them up, and obviously events and stuff that's going on in the community. So, and obviously they can go on the Red Rose Recovery page anyway to look at all the other Zoom calls and other events that are going on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So if anyone wants to access any of LUF stuff, Red Rose stuff, Kim's groups that are going to be online, if you go to the Red Rose Recovery website and you go to the What's On calendar, there's a calendar with a list of different groups that are going on in the community. So that's the way you can access it. And as Kim said, we do post stuff on the Facebook page, LUF Facebook page, Red Rose Recovery Facebook page, but also we have got a Telegram group. So if you want to be a member of Red Rose Recovery, sign up and we'll add you to the Telegram group. And then on a daily basis, each group that's been facilitated will get a link will get posted onto that Telegram group, and that you can access it via that.
Thank you for that, Glenn. As you can see, I'm still learning. So yeah, thank you. So I'll know for next time someone asks me that. So thank you, Glenn.
Hi, I've got some comments here. Going back to the volunteering, we've got Simon says he agrees with you, Chris. The best thing that he's ever done, and especially for his recovery, and he urges everybody to give volunteering a go. You'll never look back, you'll forever look forward, which is great. And Nick says, you need to gain as much as you can give when volunteering. Give it a go. So I agree with that. And well said, and get involved. That is it. And very welcome, Kim. And I hope that you enjoyed yourself on the Friday night group. I did enjoy my break from it, I must admit, but I actually do love doing it. It's great fun, and it is just a chill out, and that's why I like it.
Yeah.
And well, I'm so glad when the music's back on till 9 o'clock, when I can go on it after my Hope and Beyond group.
Well, we obviously did a bit of a quiz last night. One of the gentlemen on there did it for us, did about 30 questions. So that passed quite a bit of time on. And then after that, I think we did a bit of charades and guess that tune. So I did all right. I did all right winging it. And at the end, a few of the people said that I did all right and they loved it. So I felt okay.
Oh, great. Brilliant.
It was well winged. It was well winged.
It was. I'm good at winging things, me, Chris. Good at it. I winged myself all the way through university, so you know, I'm partly through life. So
I noticed when you winged me with that bucket of water, you were there.
Well, you got me first, and then again. So I told you, I watch you back. I'm coming for you, Chris. I'm coming.
I'll watch it. Don't worry, I'll watch it.
Being able to wing things is a skill set because I am an expert at it. I have done for the last 4 years, so don't worry about it.
Brilliant. So we'll move on, and we have Chris and his life story, don't we? And that's this is wow. Where do I start? This got put on me quick, didn't it? And
come on now, Chris. You've got a big lot to tell us. So just sit there, take a deep breath, and start at the beginning.
Right. So beginning, I was eldest child of 3, and that come from a good family. And that I had a mum, I had a dad, and stuff. Come from an owned house back in the 70s, which was good for a family them days. And that my mum worked 3 jobs, and that gets to give us everything she wanted. And that my dad was military and stuff. It is like, you know, it was a good family, and that it was me. It was me in my childhood, I suppose. you know, eldest one, my mum working 3 jobs, dad away, stuff like that, and that I had to look after the others, and that, and you know, and I got it's only later on that I got that, I suppose, and stuff. But I did have a bit of resentment, and that when you're a child, aren't you, and that you don't understand what your parents are doing. You know what I mean? You don't understand what's going on around you, do you? It's all about you, and I get that, you know, I totally get that now, and that anyway. Yeah, I ended up going through a lot of. So my mum split up with a partner, and that she brought a family member in to take care of us while she was working 3 jobs and stuff like that. And I ended up going through a lot of childhood trauma and stuff. Yeah, sexual trauma and stuff. And it's like that went on from like the age of like 6 onwards, you know, and stuff. And it's like it was horrible. It's like you don't know, do you? You don't know what's going on at that age, and you don't understand, you know, that nothing's wrong or anything like that. This person's supposed to love you. This person's family, you know, they're trusted, you know, and that you're a child, you're innocent, and that the bottom line is. And that you don't understand what things are going on with you, do you? And that anyway, so that went on for years, and as I was growing up, especially coming to the end of like junior school and things like that and stuff, and that I started getting a lot of anger and stuff, and it was unfocused anger. It was unfocused anger. I was finding my voice. And stuff, and when I found my voice, this man jumped ship. He went to another country and stuff, working out in the foreign country, and I think he was in fear that he knew I was learning how to talk and you know, and showing me anger in ways. But anyway, that anger turned into bad focus. You know what I mean? I was a little twat. Honestly, I was a proper little twat. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be a little twat, or you know what? I wouldn't, because my mum would give me a thick ear. You know what I mean? My mum would come in and she'd rule the roost. You know what I mean? And that sort of. So outwardly, even though I had resentments and stuff like that, because I was living with all this internal crap, and that had happened to me, and I turned my streets into fear. You know what I mean? I went out and I put all my rage and my fear and all that internal damage that I was feeling inside, I took it out on the streets, and I did. I can remember the police knocking on the door loads of times at 9, 10 years of age, and my mum would be like, "No, not my kids, not my kids," and I'd be like behind my mum's back. Like, ha ha, you know what I mean? Because my mum had had me back and stuff and that. And then my mum would close the door, and I can remember a thick ear that I used to get. You know, and that was my mum's love. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that was my mum's love, and I love her for that. Do you know what I mean? And that she always had our backs, and this is why I felt like I couldn't turn to my mum. That, you know, because I was scared. I was not that I wouldn't get believed. I was scared what my mum would have done. You know, I was in fear of the pain that I would have caused my mum, and the pain that of wrecking our family, especially me having a brother and sister younger than me, because my mum would have lost the plot and stuff. So I kept it inside me. Anyway, I went into senior school, and I can remember my first use of drugs, and it was amphetamine and that sort of. So I went to a party one night after school. And people were digging ways, injecting amphetamine, and that in the back kitchen and stuff. And straight away I was on it. And that anything to take that pain away, anything just to feel reality's just gone. You know, anything to just put me in my own headspace and make me feel like that release and stuff. So I started injecting amphetamine. And that just you know, just to give me some peace upstairs and stuff, and it turned quite aggressive, to tell you the truth, and stuff, because I liked it. It gave me my freedom. It gave me my fuck you to the world. It did. It gave me my reason to stick 2 fingers up at everyone and go, I am my own person. I'll do what I want to do. and stuff as a child, and it gave me some empowerment back. I felt I was empowering myself as a child back, giving me some power back to make a decision for myself, even though I didn't know it was the wrong decision at the time, and stuff, and it turned nasty. Then I got involved with all them types of people and stuff, and it's like I got used. It's simple as that, because I was that raw, because I was that, you know, and that people love sending me round to people's houses. I loved it. I thought it was great. You get what I mean? Hanging around with all these big people around me and stuff, right? Yeah, going around causing damage, causing people misery and all that. Well, you just don't realise at that age what damage you're really doing, do you? So I was enjoying it. I thought, yes, you know what I mean? I'm doing great here and stuff. And then I'd be back home. Right, yeah, for 10:30 curfew. That right, yeah, with me supper to get in bed, that to be at school at 8:30 the next morning. You know what I mean? And I did that every day. Every day I didn't miss a day of school. It's weird. I did not miss a day of school. And it was great. I was always there on time, school uniform clean, shoes polished. You get what I mean? And it's like I was a different person. I was a totally different person. And I got into this life. I was living these two lives. You know what I mean? These two faces during the day from Monday to Friday. Good student, you know what I mean? From a good family, stuff like that, and that. Nobody seeing what bed I was in because I was just respectable as always. And then as soon as that tie came off and that blazer at 3:30 in the afternoon, and that I was trouble. I turned up at my brother's school for his rugby matches just to batter the team that had come from another school with him, you know. And it's like as soon as that tie was off and that blazer, it was all about drugs and inflicting pain and fear, and that because that's what I was living. So I thought I'd do that on others, and that was my life, you know, from 3:30 in the afternoon. So I went to bed at night and stuff. Anyway, that went on for years, and the bigger I got, and that the worse it got, because you get reputations in schools, you get reputations out on the street, you get reputations off these older people that you think are your friends at the time. You know what I mean? Because they see you as an up and coming person they can mould, you know, and stuff. And that, right, yeah. And it's like your ignorance as a child is their arrogance. It's a fact, you know. And I was in the middle of all that, injecting amphetamine on the ease and stuff, smoking cannabis, and it's like nothing was not there that was open. Everything was open. It was game on. I was doing everything. Everything was enjoyment, and everything was a release. Everything was having pain free to me. Just anything to get out of that head. You know, that head space and stuff. Anyway, I came to my last year at school, and I sort of had like an enigma, to tell you the truth. Like, I don't know, that a teacher came over. I remember a teacher coming over to me and going, "You're passing your exam, you." And I went, "No." I thought, I'm a heck. I thought, I'm here. He went, "You are." He went, "I'm telling you, you're passing your exams." He went, "Your coursework is brilliant." And I thought, taking a rave out on my coursework, and this is how it was, right? Yeah, even though I did my own work and stuff like that, I just thought I was taking a shitty old rave out on it, go and inject some whiz, take a rave out on paper, and that, handing a fucking half-hearted paper at school the next day. And luckily enough, they were good papers. And anyway, I walked out of school with 12 GCSE grades and stuff, and I was shocked more than anyone. And it's like straight. I don't know. And at this time, it was. Even though I was happy, I was tortured. I was lost inside. I was like, you know, I remember coming home I remember coming home and handing over like turd exam results where I'd ripped them up on the way home, and you know, and you know, my papers and stuff, and that just ripped them up and just threw them at my mum, and you know what I mean, and looking at her and thinking, I should be happy right now, but all I want to do is scream. you know what I mean? That was my way of just like saying to my mum, there's something going on, if you know what I mean. And that was my way of just like and I really wanted to scream. And I remember breaking down in tears and just storming out the front door. I remember it very well, like it was yesterday. And that night, anyway, I remember burning down somebody's garage that had been causing trouble with me and my brother. And it's like, I won't have it anymore. You know, the rage came out proper that day and stuff. And I had to work on it. Anyway, do you know what? I went into employment. I focused, I refocused. A great person had a chat with me, and I knew where it was going. I knew where my life was going. So I started to get jobs and stuff like that. And I ended up in a good job. And but that came with trauma as well. Still hiding all this pain, still hiding all this bullshit inside, internal shit. I'd use my nights away and stuff like that, to just go and get pissed or go and get off my fucking head, just doing, you know what I mean, and that, just to release and that, because I was hiding all the time. I was living in fear, and that I was living in all that torment and all that crazy shit of what had happened to me as a child and stuff, and that, and it was pain. It was just all pain and stuff, and I was inflicting others with pain. And you know, and that. So even though I was living a good life for a bit, it wasn't a good life internally. I was suffering. I was really, really suffering. Anyway, I ended up with a lot of, should I say, teenage years into adulthood, personal trauma as well with this and stuff. Things I'd seen, things I'd done and stuff. Anyway, my life went downhill straight away. I came out, my life went really downhill and stuff, and that, and I turned to Ellery and I went back to my partner. And that, and at the time, and it's like, I remember I'd used everything I'd learned over the years, years, even though I'd thought I'd escaped things and stuff and just internally damaged myself. And I'd picked new skills up on the way and stuff. And it's like, I was an adult now, and I should have been acting as an adult, but I was acting out even more. I knew I could cause people physical pain now. I knew that I could handle myself and cause what damage I wanted to cause, and knew how to get away with it as well. You know what I mean? And that I knew if I wanted to hurt somebody, I could go and do it. And even though everything inside me was resonating, and I was angry and I was self-harming myself and stuff like that, because I was in pain at this turmoil that I was causing out on the streets. I had to do it. Everything about me was saying no, right? Yeah, but that's the only way I got a release. That's the only way I got a release. And with these new skills I'd learned, I knew how to take doors off. I knew how to stand in someone's garden for 8 hours, 9 hours, and that, right, yeah, and stalk them until they come out of their house, so just so I could cave the red thing, because they might have owed me a bit of money or whatever. You know what I mean, and stuff. And it's like I turned Fleetwood, my own town, into a war zone, and I did. And me and my brother, and I ended up not like people, obviously, and that we wasn't nice people and stuff. We were really bad in addiction and stuff. And this is the pain I lived with in addiction. I didn't live with the fear of what others thought about me. I didn't live with the fear of what others think or said. I lived with my own internal fear about me. I lived with that fear about waking up one day dead, or the fear of waking up one day and someone else is dead. You know, I lived with that fear about how far is it going to go, Chris? How far do you have to go? You know, what's your family going to be? What do your family think? And stuff like that. And it was never enough. It was never enough for me to change my mind about this situation, because I was that angry as a person, you know, and that's a fact. Even though all these thoughts and feelings were going through me, and these should have been the reasons to change my life around, I was that angry, that frustrated in my life and stuff, and about what had happened to me, and that things I'd seen and stuff, I just turned it into more anger and rage to survive. And that's the way I've seen it, as I'm surviving and I don't care if anybody else doesn't around me. And that is the way I've seen it, as long as I survive, you know, and stuff. And that, anyway, HMP obviously came with that at some point. And that HMP did come with that in a massive dose. And I remember a police officer knocking on my front door, and it's like, this time having evidence, you know, I've got away with it for years. It was only a matter of time, you know what I mean? And I remember that the officer going, are you Chris Rainey? And I've gone straight away, no, I'm my brother. I said my brother's name, you know what I mean? And he's gone, can I have a look at your tattoos, please? And I've gone, you're a bit of a cheeky cunt, aren't you? And right up to him. I can remember it very clear, you know. And that anyway, and that was my first prison spell. And it's like HMP, fucking what a load of shite. And that, but yeah, I was a child still. I was still young. Do you know what I mean? Even though I had the body of a man and everything, and that I was naive and ignorant to anything good, really, and stuff. So I went into HMP with that bad attitude. With that bad attitude, it's still that, you know, causing fear, causing pain, causing, you know, nightmares wherever I was, and I didn't see it for what it was. And recovery wasn't an option. It was a detox to me. It was just a detox. Right, yeah, and all them good incentives, right, yeah, oh, I'll stay clean. I was never clean. I was using in jail. You know what I mean? And that, even though I was promising myself the day I walked out, I'll be clean and stuff, right, yeah, and that. I wasn't ever clean and stuff, and that. I was using in jail, and that's a fact. And that, and all them good incentives that I promised myself, even while I was using in jail. And stuff, right, yeah, and that never came to plan. The day I got out, I already had numbers off other people. Do you know what I mean? I was straight to the telephone box, scored before I'd even got on the train, and that's a fact. And this went on for a lot of years. There was no sort of recovery basis in prison at that time. You know, there was no. The only incentive I had in prison at that time, right, yeah, was the day I get out, I'm clean, I'll stay clean. And that, I didn't know anywhere to look. That was my incentive, doing a detox in jail, you know, and it's like that went on for a lot of years. And then I remember Inspire Outs had been coming out, and Inspire was open in Fleetwood, and I needed a script anyway, so I ended up going there and getting on the script, and that's the first thing that I'd ever seen a proper recovery. That I remember doctors giving out like DFs and stuff like that. I remember someone telling me that you go to your doctor and get a prescription for DFs and that, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But there was never a community centre or there was never an agency and that. So I remember going out anywhere and that, and me going in there and stuff, and asking them for help and stuff. And even though I got the help, even though I got the script. And stuff. I'm still that shitty person. I still had all that internal shit going on and stuff like that. Not getting out for any of that, you know. Not on my medication for my PTSD and my split personality disorder and all that shit. I was just masking it with drugs on top of my script. It's a fact, you know. And the more drugs I could get, the more drugs I'd have, you know. And I'd do whatever I needed to do to get all that. And that's a fact. And anyway, I ended up going to prison. My brother ended up overdosing and dying. Anyway, and stuff. And this was not long after I had a suicide attempt, because I'd had enough of all this internal shit. It'd come to an end after years of self-harm and stuff like that, and that it's like things. I tried to take my life in Blackpool Sea Front and stuff. Anyway, not long after that, my brother took it. Well, my brother died from overdose in a person's home, and in being my brother, I went to prison for that. I ended up going to prison for that, and I ended up serving a long sentence. And that's for the people that owned the property where my brother was at, and overdose and stuff for kidnap, and I'd never, even though I'd seen loads of people die in addiction, you know, I've been there. I've seen people die in front of me in the ditch, and you know, and stuff. I've just stepped up. Do you know when you just step over somebody? They're not to do with me. They're nothing to do with me. I don't feel. I went to bed at night. Do you get what I mean? And slept and stuff, and that I didn't feel anything for that person. Do you get where I'm coming from? Even though I've probably known them years. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't feel anything for myself, let alone anybody else. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it was only when my brother overdosed and died, and I ended up in prison and doing detox in prison and stuff. And I thought, I can't do this no more. I thought, my mother's not going to lose another son. You know what I mean? I thought, no way. You know, it really hit home. It really hit home. And I had to look at the things I had to change. And that's all. So this time in prison, I started plugging into things. You know, I went onto the rehab wing and stuff. I become a listener in jail for the Samaritans. I started engaging in activities that normally I wouldn't do. Instead of being out in the yard having a laugh with the lads and fucking taking the piss and stuff like that, I was engaging in good things in prison and stuff. I became a peer mentor for the recovery team and things like that. And that's when I started to see a difference in me internally, you know, and stuff, because it showed that I have got that caring side to me. It showed that I have got a heart. It showed I had a heart. You know what I mean? And that's something I thought I'd lost years before, and stuff. And that went on, and that anyway. I got introduced to recovery homes, and that I was due out. I was due out for early release, and I could have gone back home. I could have gone back home early. And stuff, and I chose not to. I chose to stay in for an extra 5 months until they could get me into a recovery home, and that because I knew where home took me. You know what I mean? I've given myself all these promises before in other sentences and stuff, and I knew exactly where it got me straight out that gate, and this was what was resonating in my head, that I acknowledged these things, that for once I really must have wanted these things in my life to change. Just areas of my life, you know, that I wanted something better for me instead of just pain and misery, you know, and stuff. And I remember my key worker coming up to me and telling me with the SO, we've got you a place in the recovery home, Chris. He went in Preston and that, and I wasn't ready for it. You know what? I wasn't ready for it. I thought I was gonna, because it had been months later after my release there. I was probably looking in my head thinking, I'm not getting out of here until we LDR. Do you get what I mean? Until that, it's like I'm not looking forward to going anywhere until, you know, and that. And so yeah. So when it was a bit of a shock, and it was a bit uncomfortable because I'd never had to rely on somebody for something before, and I'd never had the fear thought process of having to go somebody else's way and do something good for myself as well. It was always that. A big fuck you at my life and the world life, do you know what I mean? So to have to take notice, to want some love for myself and to look at something good, and it opened a new set of, it opened a can of worms, to tell you the truth, and I had new emotions and new struggles and a bit of fear and obviously all the things that come with like new things and new situations in life and stuff like that. But anyway, I pushed through it. I remember getting released, and the recovery worker in the prison took me from Lancaster Farms and that here to Preston and that to recovery homes. And that he went, and I remember him outside, and that Gary, he was called. I remember Gary saying to me, looking me in the eyes, shaking my hand and going, "You're a credit, Chris." He went, "You've done so well." He went, "I've known you for years." He went, and I've seen a real change. He went, "You'll be all right," you know. He went, "You'll be all right." And me with my blasé attitude, I've just looked at him and I've gone, "I will be all right. I will be that right, yeah. And he went, you don't have to have that mask anymore. He went, I don't mean it that way. He went, you know how I mean it, with a big smile on his face. And anyway, I remember going in and that, and it was 3 other people in the house, and I was thinking, what the fuck have I walked into here? You know what I mean? I've got more than what I've got in a cell. You know, there's a lot of people to get used to this. And you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, everybody was fine and stuff like that. But I still didn't know much about recovery NA. I didn't know much about I didn't know anything about Red Rose at the time, stuff or Lancashire User Forum or anything like that. And that all I knew was that there was recovery homes, and that was a start for me. You know. And that, so it wasn't that long before I was breaking rules anyway. It wasn't that long before old behaviours kicked right in and stuff. And you know, I found myself bringing a woman back to the property when you weren't allowed. I found myself ended up getting kicked out of that property, and that for battering an housemate and stuff like that, and you know, getting pissed and battering an housemate. And I thought that was it. Do you know what? Because I'd had a taste of recovery and stuff. I was gutted. I was fucking gutted. I remember my head being twatted when I got told to leave the property at stupid o'clock at night. And that right, yeah. And then all that shit about that. I was thinking, fucking hell, I'm on licence as well. The police are going to be involved here, and all that crap that come with it and stuff. And I remember my head was battered, and usually I would have gone, fuck it, do you get what I mean? And I could remember, and I was thinking, so what's up with you? What is going on? You know what I mean? Anyway, I was lucky. I went away for 28 days. I went back to my local area, stayed with my mum and stuff. And I didn't use and stuff, and didn't drink. And I was on the phone to recovery homes every day, apologising and stuff, right? Yeah. So I got recalled. Anyway, I ended up getting recalled because I was on a tag when I went to the property. I was on a tag, and that. So I breached my tag, my curfew, and by getting kicked out. That was that stupid o'clock that night. Luckily, there was no charges that came with the assault. And that or anything like that. The lad didn't want to get me done. He got kicked out at the same time, so that was lucky. But anyway, as a result of going back to Fleetwood or leaving the property at stupid o'clock at night, I'd breached my tag and stuff, and I ended up getting recalled. But luckily, I'd been on the phone whilst I'd been on the run in Fleetwood and stuff, and at my mum's. I'd been on the phone to my key worker, Leah, from Recovery Homes, good man, right? Yeah, and I every day. Going, please just let me back in the houses. I apologise. Yeah, but I did wrong. Do you know what I mean? It won't change. I could come back to a drug test now. I'm totally fine. I'm clean. You know what I mean? And that, right? Yeah, and that. So anyway, my probation officer, right? Yeah, because they couldn't find me, my probation officers ended up getting my telephone number out of my mum because my mum didn't want me running around anymore, and that because she was scared that I'd end up dead. Can't blame her. And that, right, yeah, and that it's like, so my probation officer ran before, right out of the blue, and I remember her going, you ready to hand yourself in? And I was like, well, yeah, tomorrow. And she went, no, today. She went, I'll have the police come and pick you up. She went, I'll have you back in Preston by this afternoon. She went, I'll have you out in 10 days. She went, there's a place for you at Recovery Homes. Not right, yeah. And I was thinking, no, there isn't. Not right, yeah. Just, you know, like you do. I think your probation officer's just blagging me to get me back in jail here, and that, and have myself in. And anyway, right. So I've gone. Right, I'm just gonna have to get off the phone and make a decision. And that, right. So I've got off the phone and I've rang up the manager of Recovery Homes, and she turned around and gone, yeah, I've spoke to you. I've spoke to your probation officer. I've turned around and said, we're more than willing to let you back in, but she said you've been recalled back to jail now. And that because we would have had you back today. She went, because that's gone through. She went, you're going to have to be put back in prison, and then apply back from prison. And that so I felt better. Then I thought, well, probation's not against me. Do you know what I mean? I thought, like you do. I've always thought probation were against me. You know what I mean? It's because I've never worked with them. That's what it is. I've never tried working with them on any level to see if they could do good things for me. And that, but this probation officer, obviously, she was trying. So anyway, I was still in second mind about handing myself back in, and that all that fear shit, all that bollocks about getting locked back up. being out on the street doing my own thing as well. You know what I mean? And that it's like so it's like it's never easy when the police officer's not knocking on your door and handcuffing you, is it? And you've got to go and hand yourself in. You know what I mean? That right, yeah. So I thought, do you know what? I'll just ring her and just tell her I've got COVID. Do you know what I mean? That right, yeah. So I did. I rang her. I went, listen. I went, I've got COVID. I'm supposed to be isolating. And she went, oh, have you? She went, isolating where? Oh, I can think I've got my mother's. Right, yeah. But anyway, the police gave it that to me, mother's. Right, yeah, and that. And I remember laughing. So I'm in this cop, but anyway, so I get cuffed up, and my mum's going, don't worry, Love, don't worry, son, and that's the best place for you, and everything, right? Yeah, and I'm thinking, what, Mum? Are you for real? For fucking real? She went, I'll see you soon. And I'm thinking, is everyone taking the piss here? You know what I mean? And that. So anyway, in the van, on the way down, I remember pretending to throw up. And stuff like that, and that anyway, and the woman officer and the man that was in the van was gone, what's up with you? I went, I don't know, but I've been told I'm out of COVID. And that, right, yeah. Anyway, they get me to the police station, and that. I remember being in my cell, putting my hand down my throat and stuff, and that, throwing up all over my cell, and that, getting on the buzzer, and that, and the sergeant coming from the desk going, we're getting a medic to you now, we're getting our nurse to you now. And he's gone, you might have COVID, isn't it? And I'm going, yeah, blagging it. I'm going, yeah. Anyway, I remember him coming, going, right, we're taking you to hospital. We can't have you in the police station. We don't want to have you in the police station. And I remember the officers having an argument outside my cell door about who wanted to take me to the hospital, because none of them wanted to go in case I had COVID and stuff. And I thought, I'm blagging this proper. I thought, I am blagging this proper. Anyway, I remember getting to Blackpool Vic, and that, right, yeah, and they were on the phone to the inspector going, we're not staying in this COVID area, cuffed up to Mr. Rainey in case we get COVID. And that, right, yeah, that. So they told us, so they released me, right, yeah, to the hospital, and that, right, even though I had a license recall, and that, to isolate at the hospital and that for the due days and stuff. And they said to hand myself in on my day release, that everybody be informed by the hospital on my day release, and to hand myself in. And I remember just going straight back into the fucking madness anyway, and that, and getting pissed up. And I did that day when I walked out, I was getting pissed up. I just said, fuck it. And that, right, yeah. And I never went to the police station. But I remember my probation officer, right, that afternoon, ringing me going, you've been released from hospital, haven't you? And I've been going, no, the fuck. You know, like, out of my fucking mouth and that. And she went, yeah, you have. She went, yeah, you have. She went, listen, where are you? She went, I'll send the police. She went, I'll send the police to get you now and stuff. And that, anyway, I did. So I went back anyway for 10 days. And recovery homes still took me in. And you know what? God bless recovery homes, because it could have been a lot worse, the situation. They didn't have to have me back after I turned one of their houses into a war zone. It's like, that's a fact. And they ended up sending me to Accrington, Oswald Twizzle, and that went on release, and that to an house there, and that I wasn't welcome in Preston for some reason. And that, right, yeah, and anyway, at the time I was thinking, what a shithole of a little place this is. There's fuck all to do. I was thinking, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Breaking in new people wanting to hug me and cuddle me and all that, and that, right, yeah, like show me loads of love. And I was like, whoa, back off. You know what I mean? Boundaries. This is my personal space. Keep your hands to yourself, you know what I mean? And stuff with that, right? And I was very reserved, but the recovery was there, right? They were doing a lot of meetings and doing a lot of Zoom meetings, and people were meeting up at like Costa, and that, right, yeah, and stuff like that. So I give it a try. Do you know what I did? I thought I'll push through that fear, and I give it a go, and I did, and I met some wonderful people, and I met some wonderful people, and this is what gave me a taste, right, yeah, of unity and of fellowship. And it made me then want to change, want a centre. I think I needed that, what happened in Preston, to seriously buckle down and be open to actually a fellowship. And that, so I started right, yeah, with NA and started doing my NA and started doing like what NA entails and what you have to do and getting in touch with people and, you know, getting a sponsor and things like that. And I ended up, you know, and it's like, yeah, it went well. It went really well and stuff. And it's like I was still close to things, but I was more open. I was getting a taste for it. I was getting a feel. You know, I knew that there was something better, and that's through like the good things that are here today, like Red Rose, that's Recovery Homes, all these agencies, and you know, the sponsor stuff like that. And I was content. I was getting content. Anyway, I ended up going from a frozen iceberg, right? Yeah, overnight to like a warm, cuddly teddy bear and stuff. And I started accepting hugs and, you know, compliments and advice and things like that. And that instead of having me back against the wall, shooting everything down at sight. And stuff, and that was the start of something new for me. Something really loving happened to me. You know, that's when I was open to change. So I changed. So I got moved anyway. I met a partner in Recovery Homes down there, and because I brought the rules again, I had a partner in my own home, and that I ended up getting moved from Accrington and that to Preston to split us both up. And it was the best thing that happened. You know what? It was the best thing that happened, and that because when I came down to Preston, it's like I fell in with people I knew in the house, you know, and stuff. They were doing the appropriate things. They were with Red Rose. They were with the Lancashire User Forum. They were accessing Zion. There's a load of areas they were accessing and stuff. And because I knew them from prison and stuff like that, and it's like the banter was there, you know, that it was all there. It was all comfortable. It was all relaxed. So I just started taking part and stuff, and I just opened myself up to new things in my life and stuff, and that's where I started showing myself some internal decency. Even though I started showing some love to other people, I started showing myself some internal decency, and that's where my life started really to develop in places that I hadn't seen since childhood, you know. And I say that with an emotional tear in my eye, and that bit, because that's what everybody needs when you come into recovery. I believe that's when people start healing. I know I did anyway. And that, so I got a counsellor, I got a psychiatrist, got a sponsor, you know, and that started to trust what a massive thing, you know, to be able to trust again. And that, you know, just to know that there's people out there that do love you and want to support you, you know, and they're not doing it for their own benefit or their own self-will. They're doing it because they've got a heart and they just want to be there for you, you know, and that is massive. That is so massive. And then I remember, and that like Red Road, Buddy Hell, and that Lancashire User Forum, and that, and you know, and really, it's like a molding, isn't it? It's like a molding. I had no focus of where I wanted to go in life or what I wanted to be. I was still coming to terms with who I am as a person, and all these emotional things that I'm going through, what I'm unraveling about, trauma that had happened to me and stuff like that, and that I never really had drive in any other area apart from like me recovery. I never had any drive and stuff. And I remember, I nearly said her name. I remember a lovely lady from Red Rose and giving me a massive hug and going, "I'm going to mould you." She went, "I am going to mould you." She went, "And make you into something special." She went, "Because I know you've got it in you." She went, "To do it." She went, "I see it in you." She went, "Even though you don't." And do you know what? And that was my journey. Started with Red Rose. My journey actually started with Red Rose from that day. And now I put in everything. And I have changed. You know what? I have developed myself. I am strong today. I am decent with myself. I do take time out to look after my own physical well-being, my own mental, my own spiritual, every side of it. And that, you know, and all these good things that have come from these agencies that people can access today. And if I hadn't had that chance, I think I would have been, well, I know I would have been dead. I would have been dead. It's a fact. I would have been dead. And all I can say is, and I'll finish on this, is strength is in unity. Strength is in unity. And that you're not on your own, people. You're not on your own. And I know it's scary. Believe me, I've lived in that fear for years. I have been that person that wanted to reflect that fear with fear, you know, and been there in myself, not knowing where to turn or where to go, and that. But guess what? It can only come from self-well-being and looking after number one. And believe me, everybody's worth it. Everybody's worth it. If I'm worth it, yous are worth it. Believe me. And that's all. So please, all I can give is the love today of giving one addict's knowledge to another. And that is, I never thought I was ever worth it. Well, guess what? We are daily. So please do something good. Look after yourselves. But you know, just be good to yourselves and try. Just try. You never know until you get it. And when you get it, you'll get it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Oh, no, thank you, Chris. I'll send the throat lozenges round after. You're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Shelley has said, you are awesome, Chris. It's hard to believe that after what you've been through, the way that you've come on now, and for one, she is very, very proud of you. Shelley also says, Kim, how gorgeous your hair is.
Oh, thank you.
Shelley, yeah, sent me that. I'll see you again, Shelley. Anyway, Kim, Simon says, he totally agrees with you, Chris. And he hasn't known you very long, but you are totally the nicest and funniest person that he's ever met. And you are an inspiration to the savers. It takes a real man. It takes a real man to show emotion. And that certainly does. And Steve B says, emotional growth stops when you enter prison or young offenders. I'm quite sure it does. Steve says, you are an amazing guy, Chris, and massive respect to you. And Nathan says, amazing, Chris, top member of our group, and he's glad to have met you. And Steve B, I like this, he fought them all the way. He was emotionally 18 when he got here 1 year ago. And he's so glad that he came to listen to your story, as it's so inspiring. Chris, you've made all the same mistakes as him. Blessed they be, blessed they are for letting him stay. And he's never met you, but he's only heard good things about you. That is amazing when people can say that.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's what they've wrote in is amazing. Every week I listen to the people's stories on here, and it never ceases to amaze me how we survive what's thrown at us and how we get through it.
I'm overwhelmed at the comments, Barbara. I'm overwhelmed. I am.
They're brilliant.
Oh my God.
Yeah. People can just turn their lives around, and then they start helping one another, which is absolutely amazing. It takes people like Tasha and Gary and all of the people at Red Rose and at LUF, and it's them that gives others the platform to step onto to start off their lives again. And it just amazes me every week. You know, people say, oh, your life story, this, that, and the other. But we all say it's about one another's. But we are survivors, and that makes us strong together. So all I can say is, thank you, Chris. That was amazing. And it's over to you to say good night, Chris, and God bless to everybody.
Good night, Chris, and God bless everybody.
Hang on, Gary, before we go, did you want to say something?
I did. I just wanted to speak to both of the lads that have done their life story. I did mine a few weeks ago, and I know how hard it is and how nerve-wracking it is. Really, really good to hear both of them. And on a bit of a personal one-to-one, Chris,
You're cutting out a little bit, Gary.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so just what I say personally to Chris, that was, I do a lot of the similar things. And thank you for that.
I think that we're losing you, Gary.
I got the gathering. I got it.
I think it's just my speaker.
No, thank you, Gary. I got the meaning of it, mate. Thank you.
Oh,
Right, well, I think that brings us to the end of the night, Chris, does it?
Yeah, unless anybody else has got anything you want to add or share, or anything that's going on for anybody, or anything new that's coming up in the community, or anything like that, anything focused or anything.
No, just
Sorry, can I
Go
just
on,
say thank
Tasha.
you, Chris and Alan, both for sharing your story. It's a big thing to open yourself up to people and everyone watching, especially on something that's so personal. But it's been an absolute privilege listening to your story and even spending time with you both. So thank you very much.
Fine. Yeah, it's
Thank
nerve wracking doing that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bag of nerves before we went live. Obviously, like all of you said, yeah, I've been getting involved with voluntary and that, and I'd encourage some lads to get involved with that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Alan's totally right. You know what Glenn said, what you've said, Tasha, what Gary said. You know, and you, Kim, and stuff. You know, get focused, people. Get focused for your own well-being, for your own sheer self-respect and your own well-being. You know, spiritually, mentally, physically. You know, just you know, your own well-being, and that's the most important thing. And that for a self person, and that it's like do something good. Do something good for yourself, and you never know, right? Yeah, the returns you'll get from doing something good for somebody else, from doing something good for yourself, will be amazing, and it'll keep you going back. It'll keep you returning and doing quality things, and that. And if you have a laugh like we do, you can come and join our party anytime. Isn't that right, Tasha? They can come down, can't they? Join our love committee, join Gateway, have a party with us. And that right, yeah, and do something good at the same time. What better way to have a voluntary day?
Yeah, I think I'll have to get an electric scooter to try and get there to live that far away.
Just make sure you stay on the pavement.
yeah, I can just see that.
No,
Okay,
I'd like to encourage the people as well, yeah. You know, the people that are just starting to get involved with that, the antisocial behaviour in the community. Like on Thursday nights, come down and see what Red Rose Recovery football team's about and come and get involved with us.
Oh, yeah, it's totally right. Do you know what? Come down, we'll sign you up, kids. We will sign you up. But I don't want to hear that there's nothing for you. And that every Thursday, we are a registered football team. Come down, put one of our shirts on, play for us, play for Preston, play for Red Rose Recovery, play for the love, and that get involved with us, and that do something good for yourselves and have a bit of physical with it. And that you'll love it, you'll absolutely love it. Meadow Lane Park, it's that Meadow Lane Park, just behind Avon Park.
Yeah, Preston Cricket Club, it's us.
Cricket club and stuff. Come down, get involved. We'd love to have some youngers there instead of us old farts.
Yeah, and I'd also like to thank all the people that work in the background that don't want to come out there and don't want to be faced on. They just want to stay in the background and do the hard work. Without them, none of this could happen. Couldn't happen. Red Rose couldn't happen. Football couldn't happen. I'm sure your community wouldn't happen. Without all the workers in the background, we'd be lost. So thank you, everyone. Never mind the NHS, thank you. Thank you for all of you carrying on.
Thank you, everyone. And everything you've heard today, and this must be stressed, everything is built on community. Everything is built on community. None of the agencies that I volunteer for, none of the agencies that I know, and that couldn't have been built in the community without community. And that is a fact. So get involved, everyone. There is places. You've got it there. You'll have the numbers out. The lovely Barbara will sort the numbers and everything. And you've heard off Kim to go to where Red Rose. an account on Facebook and stuff. Ring Tasha, she's wonderful. She's easy to talk to. She's an amazing person. And that, get involved with the Zion, and that there's heaps of places. And not only that, we will see you at the football game. We will see you. We will see you at training, and we'll have a shirt on your back by the next football game. If you come down, all you have to do is kick a ball.
And just have a laugh, really.
Yeah, have a laugh. Yeah, have a laugh and dance in it, Kim.
And if anybody's just on the first steps to recovery, please get in contact with us. I'm quite sure that we'd be really happy to ring you back and get you onto the platform as well.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Barbara. She rang me when I first come to recovery homes in Red Rose, and that really helped me whilst I've been here.
Yeah. Oh, well, you spoke to the old farce at Red Rose. Right, I'm going to say good night. I think that is the end. I can go back to my leave because I'm on leave.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Barbara.
Oh, and thank everybody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good night.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Have you finished?